Welcome to the Pros Podcast, where we talk to pros from different industries about techniques and various ways to better your house. From remodeling to upgrades, from hiring contractors and vetting them to choosing special features. From do's and don'ts, from protecting your biggest investment to adding long-term value. We are going to unpack tips and tricks from the masters of their trades, empowering you with knowledge to better your biggest investment, your home. Hopefully, through our time together, you can glean nuggets to help you turn your home into a dream house, a real showplace. So that's the idea here, to give you tips and tricks on stuff that we've learned over the years, stuff from the pros. Hopefully, we can ask some engaging questions. And today, we've got Marlon joining us. He is a lifelong Texan, grew up in southern DFW area, city of Ferris, Texas. He got his start in the home improvement service business by cleaning floors at the warehouse, cutting carpet, eventually progressing to answer the phone a little bit, giving the man some responsibility. He attributes his success to hard work and desire, the ability to see something and move towards it in a focused way. He got his start back in 1993 at the tender age of 14, has been managing his own business now for 2 decades, giving him, his client base includes homeowners, builders, realtors, investors, mortgage and insurance companies. All have given him a very well-rounded understanding of the home improvement service industry. Without further ado, Mr. Marlon.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. Marlon, iRenovateRealEstate.
What's your website? We can plug it down at the bottom.
It is iRenovateRealEstate.com.
Wow, nice one. Marlon, in addition to his hard work, has gone on to become a Armstrong certified flooring installer, National Wood Flooring Association certified professional. He has all the accolades and the certs to go with his hard work. So not only is the man focused and diligent, but he does have the expertise as demonstrated by his proficiency on these certifications. So that's super cool.
Thank you. Thank you.
Starting off at age 14, cleaning warehouse. Do you want to elaborate on that and kind of give us the behind the music?
Yeah, started out just in a 20,000 square foot warehouse of a carpet store, just cleaning and making sure that things were in order. When people came in and ordered their carpet, I was the one cutting it, putting it on a roller, or rolling it out, cutting it, putting it on a truck, driving a forklift, and handling everything from just day-to-day cleanups to answering the phones, and that happened over several different summers and weekends, and that's where I got my start.
Outstanding.
And then they said you could cut some carpet. You can come in here and answer some phones. Then you're good
Yes,
at one.
they did, yeah.
Yeah, once you start figuring out which way the knife goes and you run it the right way a few times, then they're like, man, this guy's got it all together.
I still got all my fingers.
Praise God. Forgot to say about this. Married, 21 years, 2 kids, both in college. You reside in Denton. So you migrated your business. You were originally raised in the Ferris South area. Mm-hmm. Talk a little bit about your move to Denton and how that came to be.
That came to be with me meeting my bride, and she lived in Louisville.
Okay.
And as I came through the ranks of running a carpet store for a company, I was able to work with them for a while and continue to grow my knowledge of everything flooring. And I stepped away from that for a small period of time and went into corporate America. And corporate America is where I was working on a job, on a project, and woke up one morning and had an accident to where I was just getting out of bed and my left knee snapped. And that was the second surgery that I needed to have on this knee from sports back in high school.
Okay.
That led me to moving into a home with my mother-in-law and my newborn family, and
That's always fun.
Yeah, just being married.
A big, hard restart. All the way to the bottom.
All the way to the bottom. Yeah, yeah.
And laying on that recliner couch with your knee in a cast
Yeah.
probably gave you some time to reflect on who you were and where you were headed. And any words playing through your head at that time that you can share with us on something that someone had shared with you or told you, or scripture, or what was going through your head when you were laying there self-analyzing?
Newborn family, how am I going to take care of them? Where do I need to go? What direction can I go? Sleeping on a recliner for a little bit over a year will humble you.
Could say that's a
nice way to say it.
Yeah, and so that was a good way for the man upstairs to spend some time with me and talk to me, because I couldn't move, and it was there trying to figure out, once I got able to get back on my feet, what was my next steps going to look like.
right.
And so I took a job from my younger brother that he was working as a security manager, and so I worked as a security guard once I got back on my feet at night. And then during the day, I would call my contractors that I had previous relationships with and ask them if there was anything I could do for them, helping them out with carpet sales or installing flooring and things of that nature. And so that picked up to where I was able to start my own business, and just doing research, we picked Denton as a place that we could start and grow with.
And picking Denton, how long ago was that you picked Denton?
2004.
Okay, so exactly 20 years.
Yeah.
So your choice, your research, we got to give you a big thumbs up on that, because Denton was not too much to speak of in 2004, and man, it is on fire now.
Yeah, even with the colleges, it did not seem like it was a big city at the time. And over the last 10 years or so, it's definitely taken fire, and everyone and everybody is there. So,
So you mentioned several times primarily being getting your start in the flooring business. Tell us a little bit about how, it seems like you do a lot of social media content, and it looks like flooring is kind of your hook. Mm-hmm. And then tell us about how the jobs sort of morph into more after you get in there and, provide them with a reasonable response time on the flooring request. You come out and you do your dog and pony show or whatever. Tell us a little bit about how it evolves into the remodel side.
So starting out as a traditional flooring company, that's where our base is, and that's where my knowledge and education started. From there, our client base quickly became real estate agents, as I was serving a couple of them in Denton. And so we would help them to help their sellers to get their house market ready. And so that was carpet, new vinyl, laminate, linoleum, any type of floor covering that needed to be updated so that that client could put that house on the market. That's how we started. And then that evolved into, well, you guys do a great job of this. Do you know someone that does that? And for me, it was always trying to make sure that we could be of service the best way that we could. And just being around contractors growing up, I said, yes, we can do this. And so we added a painting element, and then we added a countertop element, and then we added a custom cabinetry element, and then we added, kitchen and bathroom element. And so that started our renovation work. And that's still what we primarily do, is renovation, which, is totally different from remodeling. Your renovation is, hey, you may just paint cabinets, you may just put new countertops in, you may do a new backsplash, change out some lighting, some fixtures, and that's your renovation. Your remodeling is, hey, we need to take this down to studs, pretty much, start with a blank slate, and then create a vision from either an interior decorator or someone that's helping them to revitalize that space and make it more than what it was.
Excellent. Do you prefer one to the other, the remodeling versus the renovation, or?
They're both the same. The remodeling takes a lot more steps from just design aspect and what can really be done. Some of that is, permitting processes and things like that. So that's a longer term project. Renovation is our sweet spot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and in the renovation stuff doesn't require, like you said, the design, the permit. It seems like you're going in and just kind of. Do you feel like customers lean on you for suggestions on things that really would enhance the value of their house? Do you find yourself saying, I wouldn't do that, or your staff? I mean, I guess you're not on the sales calls as much anymore. Do you find yourself kind of being a consultant on how to get your house in best form to sell?
Very much so. And I will say I am still doing a lot of sales
Okay.
calls.
Okay.
I've got a lot of what I call legacy agents that I've been working with for a long time. And so I still like to make sure that I can touch them, they can touch me, and I can still go out and be of service to them.
Yeah, some of those people don't ever, you can tell them to call the office a million times and they're still going to dial your cell phone every single time, right?
Yeah. So I still help with that quite a bit. And that's primarily what we do. We go out and help that real estate agent or that homeowner to be able to, let's say they want to put their house on the market for $1 million. Market cap says $750. Well, they've got great equity into it, and if we came in and made some adjustments and updates that were $50,000, would it give them that variable to where they can get close to what they want to?
Right. Okay. So does $50K get you $250 more?
Correct.
Okay.
And it's where you put that $50K when we walk that house to see what's the best way to utilize it.
What is your sweet spot on dollar value, sale price of houses? Do you have a target market there that you go after?
Our target market, for the most part, is within about a $600,000 to about a $2 million range.
Okay, so a little upper end homes. So that's a significant chunk of change. Well, and it's crazy now what $600,000 will buy you versus what it would buy you. I mean, $600,000 used to be the Taj Mahal. And now, I mean, you just get a normal house on a normal street for $600,000. I mean, right? Am I right? I mean, that's just. I mean, okay. And so, do you have? So the agent would engage you or hand you off to the homeowner. Typically, is that the way that you're?
Correct. Yeah.
So maintaining these relationships with these real estate agents is really important to you, and.
Correct.
That referral business. And, it helps. I mean, I know you're putting out content, but it helps to have that repeat business and those realtors who are feeding your machine, right?
Right. And it works both ways. What we do as a partner with them is on the back end, most people don't think about this, but if we come in and make a renovation to where that house, they list that home for, say, $700,000. Well, if they list it for $1 million, how much more does that real estate agent make without selling more homes?
Right.
So we are able to come in and help partner with them to increase their commission base without selling more homes by doing the things that will get them there and being proficient at it.
Upgrades.
And so when you go into a house that do you coach them on, I would spend the money here, not here? You go in there and they have some dreams in their head, like they want all new windows, and you say, and you can put all new windows, but that's not going to give you, or maybe windows will give you. Do you have?
Yeah. So the different associations will tell you what your kind of return value will be on what you do in a home. Now it comes down to the neighborhood that you're in, the comps that are around, the age of the home, and the layout and things that they have in there. So if they haven't updated in 30 years, we've got some work to do. And based on the budget that they can work with, we've got to make a list of A, B, and C of what needs to be handled first and what's going to give the best return and what you can use with that budget.
Does that change on every home, or is
It's
it,
pretty much on every single home.
yeah, but not the same kind of formula, but every home's different?
Yeah, every home will be different because you do have some in the same neighborhood that they've been doing projects every year or every couple of years.
Right.
And then 10 years down the road, well, styles have changed. And so even though it's a newer product or newer item in the home, the style is off. And so you still have to take that into account, that if they do want to update something, well, what you updated a couple years ago, the style of it may be different now, like going from brass to a chrome fixture or plating, or from a dark granite to a light quartz. Those are things that come into play on every single home.
So do you have, what are your top five? When you walk into a house, can you give the audience your top five on this? You know, I'm going to insist on these things each and every time.
Each and every time, the easiest things to look at and give you the most bang for the buck is going to be paint, flooring, lighting fixtures, countertop, and a bathroom remodel or renovation project.
Okay. And so not as much the kitchen. People are not as concerned about the kitchens, or that you're saying those other ones just are bigger than the kitchen.
No, you can include painting in the kitchen,
right.
flooring in the kitchen,
sure,
countertop in the kitchen. So pieces of it, without going into a full remodel of that space.
Oh, the cabinet.
But yes, yeah, the kitchen would definitely be, your kitchen and your bathroom are definitely the top two areas in the home to get the most return.
Okay, so you go into a 1980s house, and it has the wood, the stained wood oak cabinets in there. Do you see, is there just mass departure, or is the stained oak cabinet thing dead, or can you work with that?
We can still work with it, but you have to look at how many people are going to walk through that home when they put it on the market, from that aspect. Now, if they're going to keep the home and they love the natural wood, then we will work around that, and we'll probably get them a interior designer to work with them to incorporate other things to go with the overall look that they want to have. But if it's a seller and we're going to put that house on the market, we want to go to where the market is looking at. So
Right.
we want to make it market ready, and that update is going to be what people are looking at that are out there shopping in the market. So they're going to be seeing painted cabinets for the most part, not stained, in that price point of home.
Are you meeting with the homeowner when you do your meetings, or are you meeting with the realtor?
Most times it's homeowner, but it could be 50-50.
So you have that weird tap dance where you have to tell them their house is ugly, and right?
Whoa, look at this
No,
place.
no.
You guys been living here?
I allow the realtor to tell them what that looks like.
Okay.
And tell them that I can
And
fix it.
especially with your legacy realtors that you have a relationship with, they kind of probably know your style, and they know what you're, and they're seeing the same things that you're seeing, right? So it's
Correct.
You're in the remodel business. What we really are is replicators, right? We just replicate an idea that is popular, right? And that's all there is to it. You just wash, rinse, repeat, same, and you're moving through the styles, going to a lot of those houses. And if you're working in Denton, you're seeing some houses that were built when you were getting started that are already out of style, right? And
Correct.
And so you don't have to be in a 100-year-old house to be working on updating the style.
Yeah, so even working with legacy realtors, some of those we have been working with them 10 years or more. You know what they're looking for. You know what the market wants. So essentially you're just following the trend of what the market is putting in homes, and that makes it easier for them to sell, easier for them to market, and that's where you marry those two.
So this is kind of a technical thing, and maybe, but do you have like a list of paint colors that are kind of your go-to paint colors?
Cowboys blue.
Where you can kind of just trim through some of the, if the people don't care, they're putting the house on the market. Do you have color, like just paint colors and floor stamp? Like you got the popular stuff, right?
Correct.
And
it's almost
you
like
come and have a formula on.
Yeah, it's almost like building a builder program per se for a home seller. You've got 3 or 4 colors that are going to work because either Sherwin-Williams or Behr or those guys are going to have their most popular colors out, and you'll see those in most of the model homes that builders are putting up. So that does help. It helps to be in associations where interior designers are giving and lending their feedback on what's coming in the market and what's great in the market to assist as well. So,
So let's take the middle of your space. You said you're 600 to 2 million. So let's take a house that's about $1.3 million. What is just an average one? What is your turnaround time on that? You get involved, you get engaged. They say, "Yep, let's go for it." 2 things. What would be a approximate budget on paint, flooring, and so just kind of in that space? And then what's your turnaround time on start to finish on something like that?
$1.3 million, you're probably dealing with a home that's going to be 3,500 to 4,500 square feet. So paint, flooring, maybe new countertops, bathroom, kitchen renovation work. You may be in a $50,000 to $75,000
Okay,
range.
that's about what I would think. And so what's that come out to be about? 50.
One Raptor truck.
Yeah, one. That's right. No, I was trying to think of a percentage on that.
Well, that's a little less than 1 or
3%, 3 to 5% of the home value or something.
Correct.
Is that about what you? I mean, do you have
If you can stay within 5% or less, then you're doing a really good job.
Really?
Okay.
Okay, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
That's good. So
That's the first time
nugget.
I've ever told somebody that. So.
Okay, keep it under your hat.
well, no, but so on a $2 million house, if you're doing flooring, paint, countertops, $100,000, then
That's a good way to sum it up, and that's a good realistic thing for people to think about when they're with the value of their home.
We like to call all that stuff that they haven't done just deferred maintenance.
Correct. That's exactly what it is. And from a timing standpoint, we want to be out of there 2 to 4 weeks on average for a renovation.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you run your guys through, demo everything out right up there to start with. And the other thing is, selections, and obviously the COVID thing hit and everyone just used that as an excuse to be slow on service. But now that's behind us. Now we can't rely on that. You have products that you especially like and have hard time getting them, or you're kind of tailoring your process to include the products that are readily available so you can actually hit your 2 to 4 week turn time.
That's what we're doing. We're going with trends. We make sure that we know we're dealing with a lot of home sellers, so we know that, hey, we need 5 to 10 products, flooring, 5 to 10 colors paint, 5 to 10 colors countertops, and then we need to make sure that all of that is readily available within a 2 to 4 week time frame.
I think your business model is so smart because, not to be ugly to people who want their houses remodeled, but it is so much easier to work for, and you can probably verify this, to work for somebody who's on the way out, right? They don't care what you mean. They want their house to look good, but they're trusting you, and they realize that, okay, Marlon's got an eye for this. He knows what colors need to go in here, and they're moved on, right? I think that is so smart that you don't have to sit there and entertain all these, like, oh my gosh, this tile's a little bit crooked, or like all that. People are just there. Is that true? Am I thinking about that right?
Yeah, we try to take the difficulty out of it, and that way, when they come into our showroom, if they come into our showroom in Denton, we may say, okay, here's what we have for you in terms of countertops, for floors. Here's what I'm thinking based on looking at your home, whether we Googled it or you've sent us pictures. We put all of that together and tie everything in. If they agree with it, then we move forward with it. If they don't, we may get an interior designer involved just to help get over that hump of, hey, this is not your house, and hopefully 30 to 45 days, and you're on the way out, and you need to make it for somebody else. One of the main things we just try to tell them is we want a lot of the money to go with you. So if you want to get very specific, know that's more specific cost because it's catered to your taste, not to the market's taste, so per se.
Sure. How do you keep up with the changing paint colors and trims? You know, brass was real cool for a second. Do you stay away from really highly trendy stuff, or do you have a run sheet that Sherwin-Williams puts out of new cool colors? Or, I mean, is there a place to download the top 10 colors selected at Sherwin-Williams or something?
So I'm always following those guys. I'm always I have a good rapport with several interior designers, so I may have a association that I follow, get magazines from them, and then on the sales side, that's fairly easy. You're following a trend. But when it gets specific, then you do want to call in for some help and maybe have another trained eye there with you to make sure that everything looks as good as it can possibly be.
Strength in numbers.
Do you consider yourself creative, or are you more of a robot, just do what, are you creating or are you executing? More of a creator or executor?
I'm probably both, man.
Okay, very good.
Well,
so you have an eye for color, and that comes pretty naturally to you?
I've been told that more than once.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, I'm the opposite. I'm terrible. I just am a repeater. I only know what I've seen, and I have no creativity. And I'm just like, all right, this worked over here. It's going to work again.
That is not even true. You're selling yourself way short.
Well, as far as like paint colors and home ideas,
He sees the whole vision of how the room could look without walls, and
Yeah, so I'm good with spaces, but I'm just saying, as far as like the fine-tuned design elements, like type of tile and all that, I have a hard time with that. So I'm sure that it's easier when you're when you have a eye for color and things that go together.
And it helps to kind of know the home and the customers too. So do they want modern? Do they want traditional? Do they want contemporary? Is this a contemporary style of home? And so I just fix my box, per se, of products to match what I'm looking at and to make sure that we're still staying within that line.
And that showroom that you have is such a smart idea, because it just kind of, if you tell people go out there and look around for what you want on the internet, that is just way too broad of a space, right? And so by bringing them to your showroom, you can really control the narrative on what products are going in there. And then you can tell people, like, look, you can stray way off. It's going to cost you more and it's going to be slower, right? I mean, is that kind of the pitch?
Yeah. They can see a lot of different things in our showroom, but I tell them, hey, we've got 10% of what we can actually get access to. But it's probably 8% more than what you actually need access to and to see. Okay. So stay within that confinement, and that helps to keep everything streamlined so that if you need to get this house on the market by July 1st and we're here at the end of May, we've got to get moving.
Right.
So,
well, we've been talking a lot about selections and your process with your showroom and, getting the people. So now they've gone through, they've picked what they want. Now it's time to execute. So I think a lot of people in the remodel space, probably based on an experience that they've had, probably kind of see the whole subcontractor world as a little bit of a negative, or maybe don't even go there zone. But tell us a little bit about how you work with the mix of having internal people versus specialized subcontractors that can come through and execute a very specific task, like granite countertops or solid surface countertops. Let's not limit it to granite. So talk about a little bit about the mix of the two.
So the blessing is being in this business for 20 years and growing up in it. I've been able to have subs that I've known for 10 plus years, 20 years, work with me, alongside with me. And as I've grown my base of the things that I do and offer as a company, these guys have come in and been able to specialize in the things that they do, and so they fit well with who we are as a company and what we do. So we have our painters paint, we have our floor guys install flooring, we have our countertop crews install countertops, we have our custom cabinet maker make custom cabinets, and then we have our kitchen and bath specialists who come in and do that type of work.
One of the things that I've realized in being a contractor that was always a big advantage that we had over homeowners is we could try a guy on a job. You know, new carpet contractor, new carpet installer shows up, a new granite guy shows up. We could try him on a job. And if he makes a huge mess, run him off. You know, obviously we're going to want to know where he came from, and we'll ask a lot of questions. It's probably, but you feel like that once you've used a guy a couple of times, you can really discern. Obviously, you're not in the business of replacing your people very regularly, but it does come up that you're like, man, I got to go away from this cabinet guy or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. But that, you know, you use a guy on a job. Is that kind of the way you run that? And,
yeah. So I mean,
sub-selection.
Yeah, you still want to give opportunity to crews and guys that want to work for your company. So you can try them out on a project, but we'll do the vetting. We'll make sure that they have insurance. We'll make sure that they have good tools. We want to make sure that we see good tools on a project. I mean, if your stuff is run down, not clean, it says something about you and how you operate. So we want to make sure of those things. We want to get some background information on them. So, hey, give us a couple of references, homeowners, and, you know, maybe even family members or somebody that we can talk to. And then we want to see how far back that they go with their actual craft. So what we try to do is ask, hey, what are you great at? I know that you say that you can do A, B, and C, but what are you great at? And that's where we want to plug you in so that we give top quality, and then they're doing something that they're really great at.
Yeah, because having someone in the wrong seat on the bus is bad. You can have the right person in the wrong seat, and it just makes a mess, right?
When I was selling, we were doing selling swimming pools and building pools, some of the companies that we would go up against, we knew that they had 10 guys on staff that just kind of did everything. And we had a stonemason, you know, and we had an arbor person, and that all of their guys just did everything. And it was a real big selling point for us. That's all we would do is just point it out to people and just say, you know, there's an advantage to having a stone guy that does stone. And look at their stone work. They do some stone on the side. They also shovel sand and take stuff to the dump, you know, so you kind of definitely explaining that to people and having them realize it. Sometimes they have a bad name. What, these aren't your guys? But no, these are specialists.
Yeah, and then the other part of your business that's probably really helpful is you have so many projects that you can really get their attention by the amount of business that you can do with them. Because you're installing carpet here today, or carpet install is probably bad. Those are your in-house guys since that's your core. But cabinets, for example, the guy knows he's got more cabinets to make for you next month, and so that's where you really get they'll go the extra mile for you because they know you have a book of business that's coming their way.
Yeah, I mean, you're really out there helping them provide for their families, and you're marketing for them as long as they continue doing great work. And so that's how I look at it, and that's how I talk to them. And so we want to make sure that they're still doing good work. We want to make sure that they're getting educated. So every now and again, maybe every quarter or 6 months, I'll have everyone into my office that works with us. Hey, just come sit down. We'll have someone come in and do a presentation for us, talk about products, talk about where the market is going, and give their expertise on different things that are out there in the market. So that all helps, and we just want to make sure that we're serving them in addition to serving our clients.
Sure.
So it just runs along, and it's a pretty good way to do it.
And we both know that it helps when your tile guy works well with your wood floor guy, works well with your granite countertop guy, because when those guys are adversaries or not not working together, they can make it so difficult on each other. And they're, someone's trying to show their worth by dipping the other guy in the grease. And we it sounds like what you're doing is really unifying a group of people to work together to a common cause. We're in this together.
Yeah, we may have two flooring guys off in there, and they may ask each other, "Hey, what are you getting paid for this? What are you getting paid for this?" No, it's public. Here's a sheet. Here's what we pay. You do this job. You do this job, and it's going to be the same. We're not going to say your level or you doing what you do for 10 years get you this, or 2 years get you this. No, it's we're acting as a family. We're working together, and we don't want to make it to where it's like a building project, because like new construction, we know those guys, those trades, it's tough to get someone to come in and not, tear up the floor guy's new work that he just done, and they don't really work well together. So that's what I continue to talk about to my guys and preach, that, hey, we're in this project all together. So let's make it the best that we can, and remember who we're serving. We're serving our real estate agent client or our homeowner, and we want to leave an impression when we leave. So the more they see us working together, continuity, it just, lets their hair down when they see those trades working together like that.
Yeah, especially in construction, I feel like that is the tango of a lot of, it's an orchestra, it's a living organism, it's a lot of different things happening and all having to work at once. And I think it is definitely impressionable on the customer. You don't have to know what good flooring is or good application or installation to know people arguing or having trouble, and it just resonates. I think it's marketing in itself. It's getting more business.
I've always preached to my guys that people don't know plumb, level, or square, but they can see a mess.
Yes.
And so you do the greatest job ever, and you leave a cigarette butt on their in front lead walk, and they're like, "Oh my God, the guy left the cigarette butt." You're
Like the only thing that they remember.
Yeah, all the work that we did inside, nothing. But now we have to adapt, because that's the customer's mindset, and we know that. And so let's not be stupid and short circuit the good work we do by a cigarette butt.
Yeah.
I don't know if you.
Yeah. So here's one of the things that we have come up with. We've got a project guideline site that our project manager, he's going to come up and put that on a wall in an area where all of the guys, all of the trades are going to see it. It's got the guidelines. And then also on the back side of that, we've got one where we'll sit it down and the customer can see it. So the customer knows our expectations for our guys. They know what we're about. And that way, hey, clean job site every day, put your stuff up, the last man locks up, he's calling in and letting everyone know that he's left. We're covering things, plastic up, and working together. That's really what it is. But also having that in writing, in Spanish and in English, helps. Yeah. So just being able to have that where they can't say, "Well, I didn't know about this," or "I didn't know about that." No, job site guidelines posted every single job.
Man, I think that's so smart to keep the customer off you. Not sorry, customers. They can. It's your home. You can't help yourself but think, man, are these guys going to pick this stuff up in here or whatever? And I don't know. I think that's so brilliant to put it up in writing, too.
Are they going to sweep at the end of the day? Are they going to put their tools in one solid area, or are they just going to leave them everywhere? Those expectations, if you don't address it, then they can get out of hand. And so we made sure that we addressed it.
Well, and with 30 projects a month, if you got one phone call from each client each day, that would just be a nightmare, and all they really want to know is which bathroom to use or whatever.
That's it.
And it's not, and then the customer gets all excited because you didn't call them. But I'm like, whoa, if we had just addressed this on the front end, you could have saved yourself some serious numbers of phone calls. Well, that's very, very smart.
Great communication makes great contractors.
Yeah, and some of the things that we try to do at the end of pretty much every job, if we're going to go in and create dust, we send in a cleaning crew that comes in and wipes everything down. If that homeowner's there, living there, they're going to ask them, hey, is there anything additional that we need to take care of while we're here? So those type of things that just go above and beyond, we make sure that we try to do that and leave a clean job site. Your impression at the end of the job is totally everything.
Sure.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
That's great.
Yep.
So we've gone through kind of some of the execution on the way your team is comprised with the subs, and then also you said you had a floater kind of go around, or several floaters kind of go around and knock out the little piddly stuff that you just can't give to each contractor.
Punch list.
A lot of times the old punch list items are pretty hard to nail down. Now that but your flooring is your core business. So can we get into, the world of hardwood floors, most of them not even wood anymore. Can we get into that and get your take on the porcelain, like wood look tile versus the new luxury vinyl plank versus the engineered versus just traditional nailed down red oak, white oak? Can we go
Sure.
get into that?
Yeah.
So on the scope of flooring, the bottom end, let's just talk about installed products. Carpet's your cheapest, and so carpet is in the $4 a foot, square foot range, right? And
Yeah, I would say about 3 to 6.
okay,
on
so
average.
carpet 3 to 6, and then from there, let's go to tile. And tiles, what, probably
Tiles
6 to
6 to
12?
10.
Okay, 6 to 10, good range. And then obviously the install doesn't vary too much. Well, careful saying that. If you get little bitty mosaic tiles or like big 48 by 48, that's way outside of that range.
Correct.
Right. So we're just talking about kind of your standard 3 by 6 up to about 18 by 18 kind of, right, in that. And then the next segment would be the wood flooring side, and it probably starts at what, the $5 a square foot range.
You're going to be 6 to about 12 on average. Yeah.
And then the 12 being nailed down,
Solid, getting into wider plank product, specific species. Those will get you on that higher.
yeah, and then you can even
cost.
go further. You get into the quarter sawn and the rift and quartered. This one's off. You're still recording, it looks like.
Yeah.
No, this light's off. Nice.
Way to go.
So that's kind of the range on the flooring side. So let's talk about at the bottom end of the wood flooring world is just your vinyl. I would guess that's the starting point on the, like the click down, snap down. What do you call that stuff?
So if you're talking about a luxury vinyl plank or luxury vinyl tile, vinyl planking, that's going to start on average around about a $3 a foot range material wise.
Okay.
And that will get you a good product. If you're looking at like a builder based product, you could be $2 a foot range for material, $2 to $3 a foot. Once you go into quality flooring, you're going to be closer to 3 to 5 per foot.
Okay.
For materials.
Okay, and what's your take on luxury vinyl plank or luxury vinyl flooring?
It definitely has its purposes. It deals with everything from a investment property all the way to a home that has a lot of traffic. And so you've got good maintenance, you've got waterproofing, you've got the ability to have a product down that doesn't cost what the upper end spectrum look of it is. So an average nice vinyl plank may be a $5 a foot product, and that partner wood floor may be a $12 to $15 a foot product for the same species, width, and look. And so you're able to save quite a bit of money in utilizing that product versus the hardwood floor product.
So how I haven't installed floors on a regular basis in a long time, but when, 20 years ago when I was building houses, we did nothing but solid nail down, sand, scrape, finish, poly, all that, which adds a considerable amount of time to a renovation or a remodel. And then also the pain point of getting all the furniture out of the way. I mean, to me, the products are so good. I don't know if you would ever stain and finish your own floors anymore. Would you?
You would in a certain price point of home. So $1.5, $2 million, you're probably still going to go with a solid nail down stain and finish on site.
Okay.
Just for that type of home. But anything lower than that, I've put vinyl plank into homes up to $800,000, and I see builders putting them in that range as well. Now they are better vinyl planks than just a basic builder product, but yeah, you've got a wide range that you can put them in, and you save a considerable amount of time. It's not a wet lay product, and it's not a product that has to be 100% open in terms of like having an AC unit running prior.
Acclimated
and acclimated, yeah. So being able to go in and work with varying conditions inside the home with that type of product is something that is what a lot of people are looking for in terms of saving time and money.
Yeah, when we used to sand and finish floors in these houses, the house would just have to basically shut down for 2 weeks while we did. You can't have any dust, you can't be doing anything else, and so that traditional sand and finish products were really, really a problem. And so I never got the advantage of building, but I in our last house that we lived in, we did a high-end engineered glue down product, but it was, completely finished. Mm-hmm. And that, we did quarter sawn, 7-inch, I think they were 7-inch planks and distressed. And man, that was one of the things that sold our house. We just sold it and moved out to the country, but that was one of our biggest selling points. Is that that flooring? People came in and were like, "Oh my gosh, this is awesome!" But we paid for it. Our material was like probably $9 a square foot just for flooring only.
Gotcha.
And so, but it ended up being a huge difference maker. And we probably really could have used your service, tuning our house up to get ready to sell, because that's an amazing service that renovation side is. Is that cricket driving anyone else but me crazy?
Yeah, Marcus, can you find that thing and kill it?
Yeah.
So you go into a house that needs some help and they've called you out to do your thing. Do you 100% replace like with like, or do you make suggestions on maybe this area would be better as a solid, maybe this is a good spot for carpet? Do you make suggestions on types of floors and trends that you see in a certain space, in a kitchen? You tell them the rule is we don't ever do X in a. Do you have some stuff like that where you help?
Yeah. So if we're getting a house market ready, one of the things that the market is looking at is making sure that the space is it's together. Most of your floors that you do put down, you're going to want to make sure that it's all seamless, and that's more of a preference in homes now that you've got walls opened up.
But that kind of makes it look bigger when it feels like it flows, right?
Correct.
And so you would make a suggestion to not cut your flooring all up and
correct. Yeah.
have 10 different types of stuff going on.
That, and then, suggestion on color. You want to go with something a little bit lighter for the most part. That's where the market is going, and that makes that space look and appear a lot larger as well, with lighter colors, with wider planks.
Really?
And that does help the overall aesthetic of the home, especially when getting it on the market. So.
Yeah. And the whole thing about having every room be a different carpet or different whatever is, that's...
It's gone with the 70s where they had themed rooms and a wall and actual hallways and things through most of these houses. A lot of stuff now is all, you've got continuity space and you've got entertainment space, and so one consistent floor primarily makes a home look that much bigger and better.
And then as far as styles go, the wood floor is as popular now as it's ever been, isn't it?
Yeah. Wood floors are still tried and true the number one flooring source that's being put down. Unless you go into more of a contemporary or a modern home, then you get into some porcelain tiles, some marble looks, but primarily hardwood floors are being still put down the most.
Yeah, I just can't get away from the natural beauty of wood. That's
Yeah, in the clean part of it, my wife insisted on hardwoods just because of that. Just you get one of those crazy vacuum cleaners that cost tons of money to suck what's underneath the carpet, and it can get a little dirtier than just sweep up.
And still with wood floors, you have the ability to do patterns, herringbone, chevron. You can do that. They're doing it a lot with tile now, but to me, it doesn't look as warm and have as much depth as a wood floor when you do a pattern with it. So that's one of the things that a lot of people will still do, an inlay of some sort, maybe in the entryway or a kitchen area, and just kind of dress that area up to be its own. So
yeah, we did a ton of that. We would do cherry border in a oak, whatever, and oh my gosh, it was so technical. It's like, oh.
Man, yeah, following the pattern. Some kind of
and then put a band of walnut. Like they wanted to make the hardwood floors look like rugs, and so they would do couple of bands of different species of wood. They all take stain differently. Oh my gosh, that's quite a undertaking there. So kind of wrapping this thing up, do you have kind of personal favorites on flooring for spaces, or is wood pretty much the go-to everywhere?
Wood is pretty much the go-to everywhere. With regards to how lifestyles are, most people are on the go today. So most of them are putting down some sort of vinyl plank or even a laminate floor. And customers aren't staying in their homes as long as they used to. Now with the recent increase in price of homes and rates, they are trending back towards staying home and into one space a lot longer than maybe a 7 or 10 year period. But for the most part, people are only in the house maybe 3 to 5 years. It may be a job change. It may be an upgrade to a new home. Families expanding. And so that kind of keeps things going in terms of what you would put in and what you're still seeing.
And I think the likelihood of getting a stay at or work from home job is probably is higher now than it's ever been.
Yeah.
So people are not, neighborhoods don't limit them nearly as much by being close to work. If you can move out wherever, and I guess not having the parameters of having to live near your work sort of just opens it up, and everyone can move anywhere.
Yeah.
That's, you got to kind of follow the changing market. But, and I guess in your business, it's great that the people are living in their houses shorter times because you get more turnover and more houses to go in and make ready.
It keeps those guys working.
Keeps those guys trucking.
Yep.
Well, anything you want to end with? Anything I missed in questions I didn't ask?
No, I think we're good.
Okay.
I appreciate you guys having me out and just kind of picking my brain. And we respect what you guys do. And like I say, we want to send you more people, and we'll continue to do so.
Outstanding. Well, I appreciate it. And the feeling's mutual. And we run into some people that need make ready. We'll keep you in mind. All right. So as we wrap up, we have the lightning round of questions. This is just a few, just little quick hits here to keep it interesting. Favorite Cusack, Joan or John Cusack? John. Most embarrassing moment of your life?
That's just a quickie. Nothing like light questions in the lightning round.
Almost drowned in college.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Accidental situation, or any drowning's accidental, I hope. But like, did you?
Jumped off a cliff.
Oh.
It was a lot deeper than what I thought it was.
Oh.
And to get back to the bank was a lot further than I thought I should be swimming. So
Sounded like you may have been young.
definitely.
Corn or flour tortilla? Handshake or fist bump?
Handshake.
Pen or pencil?
Pen.
Are you a hunter, fisher, or gatherer?
Gatherer.
Favorite restaurant in Denton?
Longhorn Steakhouse at the moment.
Ooh,
Okay.
We love that place.
Yeah, we do. We like going up
We got
there.
one in Plano. We love. We wear that thing out.
Yeah.
All right, Marlon. It's a real pleasure to meet you and understand your business. And thank you for taking the time to come out here to the basement.
You're welcome.